That's right.
We talked about all the people who were in the crowd, but there's been one super fan that wrestling fans have paid attention to for a long time. Everyone listening to this will know who I'm talking about. The quote unquote green shirt guy. And I saw lots of people posting online all these different conspiracy theories because on Saturday night, he was seated inside the guardrail near the timekeeper. And then on Sunday, he got to walk down the ramp at WrestleMania with the announcers. And people were wondering, hey, how the hell does this happen? He's got to work for WWE. And I don't know, what's out there and what's not. But the rumor and innuendo is that he paid for the right to do that well into the six figures, John. And man, if that's all it takes, like I got an idea. We should do that every week. If I ran a wrestling company and you want to pay $100,000 to sit inside the guardrail and come down the aisle, we'll see your ass tonight, right?
Absolutely. They had seats up on the stage.
Yes.
I mean, they're selling everything. It's there they are. It's unbelievable. I mean, it is shocking how much, it was like Vince considered it the holy grail, the ring and stuff. You're not going to put, stuff like WWE, like UFC does down in the ring, but now it's like, hey man, we're going to print money. and I'm all for that, by the way.
I am too. I mean, it makes me proud as a sales guy and an entrepreneur to see, man, they found a way to make money with every square inch of real estate. And if this were a restaurant, that's what we would be tasked with doing. Yeah. How much revenue can we create in this space? How fast can we turn the tables? That's just what businesses are. But when I saw individual turnbuckles had sponsors, every single match had a sponsor. Like when all the numbers come out, it's going to be bananas. And maybe that's how they're able to afford making these strategic investments like with AAA. Of course, given the fact that The Rock was wearing a New Japan t-shirt on his Instagram post several days ago, people are now wondering, hey, we've seen a mass exodus from New Japan and The Rock's wearing a New Japan shirt. Do you think, John, that perhaps WWE looks at New Japan as their next conquest after AAA?
I don't know if it's New Japan, but I feel like there's more. And I say that from a person that I don't have any inside information here, so I don't want you to take it that I'm getting this from anybody. I'm not. This is my opinion of being in WWE since 1995 and kind of seeing the progression of things. I think they do. I don't know if it's Noah or if it's New Japan. I think they'd love to be able to sell out the Tokyo Dome, once a year, which I think is feasible. They're going to have Triple Mania down in August down in Mexico City. They're going to sell that out 20-something thousand people. I think they'd love to be able to do that with New Japan. I think they're going to do that with probably a company here in the United States. I don't know. Look, you talk about all the money they're making. There's no competition. None. So why wouldn't you try to figure out a way to integrate these other companies into you? Because now you don't have to build more NXTs. Now you don't have to build an NXT down in Mexico to get more luchadors. You own a company down there now that it's a pipeline to you, but also a place your guys can go as well. It's a mutual beneficial relationship. I think you're going to see it all over the world. I think you're going to see it in Europe. I think you'll see it down in Australia. I think you'll see it for sure in Japan. And I think you'll probably see one here in the United States, that you're going to see these WWE now have partners, either acquisitions or partners that's a little more formal than what they've got. That way they have their own pipeline made for them. They have their own, for lack of a better term, minor league system, because they're not that's AAA compared to them. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how good these other companies are. It's not WWE. So you've got something to have talent being built without you having to do it yourself.
Speaking of talent, we know that Jeff Cobb has finished up with New Japan. The rumor and innuendo is we're going to see him showing up in WWE anytime now, maybe as soon as tonight. Naito is also going to be leaving New Japan. He's been one of their top heels and top stars for a long, long time. Josh Alexander has officially arrived in AEW. He made his debut in a tournament and lost his very first match to Hangman Adam Page. But this is a guy that you got to see up close in TNA. I felt like he was one of the hidden treasures of wrestling for the last several years, and people who didn't see his title run in TNA really missed out. What'd you think of your time with Josh Alexander, and how do you see him fitting in his new home?
I was blown away by Josh. Everything he did. I saw him have some matches out there where guys that he worked with, they had no idea that he was just putting them in holes, putting them in moves. He is a freaking ring general. He is so good at what he does. I wish he'd have gone to WWE. I'm biased toward WWE. He's going to be great wherever he is. I think Speedball Bailey, that kid is fantastic. It's those two. I thought to me were just so diamonds in the rough. They were that good. Josh Alexander to me he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, as far as just being able to put a match together, he can do absolutely anything with anybody. And I'm blown away by that guy. I wish he'd gone to WWE just because, I'm a little more biased and I would get to see him more because that's what I watch more because that's where most of my friends are, not AEW because I don't know as many people down there.
No, I get that. Well, listen, we know that AEW is going to be teaming up with CMLL for Grand Slam in Mexico. And we also know that AAA is now going to be doing a joint show with WWE, the Worlds Collide event. I think it's interesting the timing of these two. They're both happening in June. Both of the major organizations here in America now have partnerships south of the border. I just think that's great for wrestling, don't you?
Great for wrestling, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, the Latino population in America, I think is actually undercounted. I think it's higher than what we think. I mean, you look at the economics of it. It makes perfect sense to have some type of lucha presence because, especially in the Southwest United States and South Texas, I mean, it's just, it is Mexico North. Texas used to be part of Mexico. And I think now you've got this incredible desire of people to still have what they have grown up to, their culture and their heritage. And they want to see this. They want to see something that's more toward them. And I think it makes perfect sense. They want to see the WWE, but then when they see the WWE, they actually consider it different because they consider that more of that's WWE. They still want to see their wrestling, yes. Which I think that's where you see these partnerships that come into focus.
In 2020, in Los Angeles County, there was a Hispanic population just in Los Angeles County of 4.8 million. So great spot if you're going to run a AAA, USA, WWE joint show. I couldn't draw it up any better than Los Angeles.
I once had a match there. There was about 99.9% Hispanic that was rooting for Eddie Guerrero.
Let's talk about the I don't know if there's anything to it or not, but I know that what everyone was talking about in the shadows of WrestleMania Night 2 was the Travis Scott involvement, which we touched on, but also I think it was inevitable. It had to happen eventually. Stone Cold had a mishap with a four-wheeler. And it's funny because as I saw him zipping around the ring, I said to myself, man, I'm glad he drives those professionally because I would not have, because I know he does that as a hobby on the side, and I guess he's done quite well. But I thought, man, I would not have any confidence that I could actually make those revolutions. And it's about as I'm saying that out loud, bam, he nails the guardrail. We hope no one was injured. But we certainly saw Nick Khan make an impromptu appearance at WrestleMania to go chat with the lady who fell down, I guess. I mean, listen, it's live TV. There's no doubt that nothing was intentional. You hate when you see something like this happens, and you hope no one was hurt. But does that mean that's the end of Stone Cold riding a four-wheeler around the ring? Because that's going to suck.
I hope not. He had one mishap and 1,000 different times that he drove stuff in there. He drove Zambonis, he drove trucks, he's driven everything. He's driven monster trucks over cars. I mean, Steve has a pretty good track record. And when you work without a safety net and when you're doing it live, I mean, inevitably, you don't want it to happen, but something's going to happen. You know it is. You just know that something's going to happen eventually. You hope it doesn't. And unfortunately it did. But Steve's track record is pretty remarkable for all the things that he's driven in his lifetime that he hadn't run over anything else.
No doubt about it. I was really impressed that, as you said, he's driven everything, and this is the first time we've seen anything happen. I hope she's okay, and I hope the silliness continues.